On this week's episode of the Superhero Show, we'll find out if Invincible gets angry when you threaten his family, if Harley Quinn gets angry if she's barely in an episode, and if your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man gets angry when he gets beat up by the unicorn. All that and more on an all-new episode of the Superhero Show. What's up, nerds? Welcome to the Superhero Show, a podcast where friends get together to talk about their favorite comic book-based TV shows that came out that week. This week, my friends are, first of all, Ryan.
Hey, Cassie, so good to be here.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how good?
Oh, God, I mean...
Rank it right now.
Well, it's not ranking.
And no, I'll cry.
Ranking would be like more than 1. I would have to put them in order. This is just giving a grade.
Rate it.
I'm going to say, it's rating, not ranking. And I'm going to say, was going to be an 11, but based on your rate fuck up, it's a 10.999 with a bar over it.
Okay, that's still really good. That's a high bar for me. My other friend, of course, Mike.
California 2, which we all know is an Indiana 8.
I'll still take it. I feel good about this. I also feel good because we're going to be talking about a lot of good shows tonight. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at that.
No, perfect
Why would you
segue.
laugh at that? Why would you laugh at that? That was flawless. Again, bring it up to an 11 from that.
Speaking of being flawless, podcasting going on right now.
It's happening. It's in your ears. You're listening to it. And we are talking about comic book shows. The ones this week. We got Your Friendly Neighborhood, Spider-Man, Invincible, and Harley Quinn. Ryan, since you're so smart, can you tell me what all of those have in common?
They are all animated.
God damn it, you got it in one. You son. That's devastating. Do you like the animated ones, or are you missing some live action?
Honestly, what I'm thinking right now is that the world, and by the world I mean Hollywood.
Of course,
the only world I care about is. Sorry if you didn't hear me because Mike was singing. I said
it was a perfectly musical bed underneath.
He was quiet.
It wasn't perfectly done, but it was perfectly musical. If you look at the syntax of what I said,
there's no denying it.
It's possible that Hollywood is finding out that it's really expensive to make live action people fly.
Yeah.
And when you have paper or a computer, not paper, it's very little.
Mostly paper, I think.
Yeah.
But it's clay.
On a computer screen, you can sort of make anything happen for free if you exploit your workers.
Yeah, and you can kind of just like cut screens, whoosh is just a couple little lines. It's so much easier.
Speaking of whoosh, the podcast tonight is coming.
Whoosh!
Whoosh. Let's go talk about Invincible Season 3. Invincible is back in better, worse, or exactly the same as ever, depending on your opinion. For the purpose of this review, we watched the first 2 episodes of Season 3, and we'll cover the next 2 episodes next week. It's a busy beginning, as Mark is in training so that he can beat the ass of a Viltrumite the next time they come around. Cecil is also in training, asshole training, as he puts Darkwing back on the team and starts creating an army of Reanimen. Taste buds, I ask you this. In this episode's civil war between Guardians of the Globe, is this episode's civil war between the Guardians of the Globe as compelling as the other civil war that we'll talk about later in this episode?
This episode of Invincible versus a civil war that we'll be talking about later in this episode of the Superhero Show. I'm just trying to parse out what the fuck you just
couldn't
said.
have been clearer, Mike. We have
Whoa.
2 episodes.
Let's not have a third civil war between you two tonight.
Hey, rank them. Rank them right fucking now.
All right, best civil wars. Captain America versus Iron Man, number 1. Number 2, the blue versus the gray. Old classic. Number 3, you two right now.
Nice.
And number 4, Guardians of the Globe. It was still good, though. Interesting conversation.
It you know what? Yes, it was interesting, except I don't know if it's a sign I'm getting older, more jaded. But I was
Less
like, Mark,
hygienic.
shut the fuck up for a second and just listen to this dude. Just breathe and listen to this guy. He is right for a second. So Mark does believe prison, lock away the key, they should rot there. No such thing as rehabilitation. He's like, and they're just living their lives. No, they're not. They are trapped in the Pentagon working for Cecil. That's not doing what they love to do. They don't get to go out to Outback Steakhouse and enjoy a great bloomin' onion.
Well, I wouldn't say that it's a full Suicide Squad / Thunderbolt / Creature Commando situation. I don't know what Darkwing's doing in his free time other than ducking, probably. But I do think that the way that you lose these arguments in these Civil War-like fights is being shady. And
sure.
People like Cecil and Nick Fury, I don't have to go through the list, but what's her name from
Amanda
DC?
Waller.
Amanda Waller. They're on a real need-to-know basis.
Cassie
also,
around these parts.
Yeah, seriously. Not giving us the key to the wet bar. Their need-to-know basis is always a little bit less than anybody needs to know. And that's to hold power. And so that's what we're watching him do.
But it's also like, Mark is an annoying pop-off. He is a 19-year-old dumb little shit whose dad was a homicidal maniac and killed your best global team and then people around the world. So, I don't know. I know they're trying to be like, who's right? The whole time I was like, Cecil. Like, no part of me thinks Mark's right.
Nope. You came in saying I might back up. I might sound like an old man a little bit and back up Cecil. And now you're like, no part of me thinks Mark is right.
People can change, which I learned in this show. And I've changed from when I started talking to right now.
I wish you'd learned that people can change their undies. The way that he gets Mark hardcore is, so yeah, I guess nobody can rehabilitate themselves. Except for your dad, who you just are fine with now.
So what Mark should have done is deflate. If he was like me, he would deflate and be like, oh, I'm a dumb fucking idiot too. And also, Mark's killed people already. He killed Angstrom Levy. Like, he is a hypocritical little shit.
Yeah, and he's working through those things. It's that because he's the main character, or he has main character syndrome, he is doing those things out in the open. And Cecil is jumping on the opportunity to say, look at Mark, can't control his temper. That's why we need to treat him like this. Whereas he's also the one who's pushing his temper so that he can say that.
All right. I see that from your Wallers, your Cassies, your Nick Furies, but because we got Cecil's origin story, I don't think he's like, oh, push Mark. He's just like, he feels fully bought in to like, you have to be a bastard to protect the world. Yeah,
and another, like, I thought that the origin story was stupid. I can't believe that when Cecil was in high school, he got bit by a radioactive spider. Like, I can't watch this shit anymore.
No, he got bit by a radioactive person who had a squish cheek.
Yeah, which I love. Like, the origin for that, which could have been anything, was like, oh, leave that one scar.
Yeah.
That's something that you say if the actor you hire already has a scar, not your drawing. You can make it whatever you want. Doesn't matter. I thought it was very interesting that Cecil's cynicism is cyclical.
Are we warming up? I thought we were recording already.
Because Donald at some points is like, yo, buddy, I know I'm like Donald part 32 and don't have that much opinion, but these are the good guys here. And he's like, yeah, bad guys become good guys turn bad. And that's just how the world works. So you got to stay on top of all of it, which I'm not sure if that's Cecil having a lot of knowledge about humans, but it's definitely Cecil having a lot of knowledge about comic book characters.
Oh, right.
And if you're around long enough and have to be written about month in, month out in issues, you'll either turn good or bad based on what you were last month.
Yes. Because got to shake it up somehow.
So we have this Civil War happening. Anything from outside of there that happened as we're checking in with these characters again?
Yeah, Mark finally got off his rocker and asked out Eve in the stupidest, most awkward way possible.
Which, thank God, it's Mark and Eve and not Mark and Steve.
Yeah, that's what we've been saying since the beginning.
That's what the people have been chanting.
That's what our signs say as we protest Amazon Prime Studios. Yeah, Mark, meets old lady Eve last season, and she's like, either tell young me that you love me or you don't. Shit or get off the pot.
Right.
And so he does, and everybody is like, hey, yeah, but don't tell her about old Eve.
Yeah.
That'd be stupid.
Obviously, you wouldn't do that, right? Nobody would do that.
Cassie, he goes in to talk to her, and guess what this motherfucker does?
He started off with...
First, no, he does it flawlessly at first. And she's like, great, yeah, maybe we should go on a date. He's like, but you
this works so well.
And then it goes to a split screen of Mark's face. And the right half is like, buh, and the left half is like, shut the fuck, what are you fucking doing?
Don't do this.
And Eve's reaction is when they finally talk about it, because, there's fights, and Dr. Seismic, of course, got out, and then all the superheroes around the world are trapped in lava downstairs. By downstairs, I mean below the Earth's crust.
On the first floor?
And so when they get to talk about it again, she's like, no, man, it's embarrassing that in 20 years, that version of me was hung up on the dude she liked when she was 19. That's fucking stupid. Snaps, girl.
Dang,
fucking
yeah.
snaps.
And, I mean, like, this is not one of those things where, like, Mark's two friends were like, you cheated on her, but don't tell her.
Right.
Like, there is no earthly, either above Earth or downstairs Earth, reason to tell her this.
No, you're going to make her feel bad and weird. But I guess what I like about this pairing with this civil war that's going on and Mark's extreme, and I'm glad they reminded us like 4 times in the 2 episodes he is 19. He sees the world in such black and white. Mm-hmm. He thinks he is smart. He thinks he's smart. He thinks he sees gray, because when he does the things, it's gray. When the people he loves, it's gray. But when anybody else does anything, it's black or white. So it's the same thing. He was like, well, no, if you have to be 100% honest, be honest. I remember being 19. I remember being like, radical candor, bitches. I thought it, so I have to say it.
I remember the things we said in our marriage vows that we broke immediately with each other. Yeah, and that's part of being youth. But also, this is why this is such a good dynamic. Tried and true of Cecil and Mark, of the old cynic and the young, person who's going to save the world. It's like there's probably an in-between.
Mm-hmm. Mike, you briefly brought up a lot that was happening on the plot there with all the superheroes being captured downstairs, as you said. Was there any resolution for this, or we just have no superheroes besides Mark?
No. There's resolution. They all got freed from their pods, because that's what set off Mark versus Cecil. Is literally every single superhero was stuck in these pods that Seismic and his giant downstairs bugs had them trapped in.
Oh, downstairs bugs. That's called crabs, buddy.
You guys go to the doctor. And then Eve and Mark were not there, and then they showed up and got beat the shit out of because they weren't really working together and weren't. Mark, you're invincible. That guy. He's growling at you. You fly right into that millipede's mouth and you explode him from the inside out. Come on, Buster.
Come on, obviously.
I'm going to ask Mike that you don't use that I word anymore on this podcast, because every time you do, a giant title screen for the show pops up and hits us in the face. So
I'm sorry, yeah.
You have to pause for 3 seconds and then say the I word, and then we get hit.
Seabolt, no, they're coming from 2 sides.
Are we excited for...
Oh, I wanted to tell Cassie what happened. And then so Cecil sends evil Batman and the Omni-Man, which are robot zombies, and which were bad guys, and in to save all the heroes. And that's Mark's like, wait, fuck this. I got to go kill Cecil now.
Got you. I understand.
Team Cecil.
And part of it is like, I should be in charge, like he's the Superman of the Justice League and Cecil's the Batman, and that, that they're going to butt heads that way. I do think that like a star NBA player, if Cecil's the GM, you just got to let them in on stuff. You have to explain the Reanimen before they show up.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah, just give them the whole playbook and they'll be fine. Mm-hmm. With an authoritative...
But don't lose that playbook.
God.
Dr. Seismic will find it. He'll score touchdowns on your ass all day.
This is Cecil's biggest fuck up is Donald is like, there's weird shit going all over the country. Look at Duck Seismic. He's just sitting in the corner. He's like, that's fine. It'll be fine. Bro.
These two connected things aren't really connected.
Find a way to make the guy who, if he touches Earth, makes earthquakes happen, hover. Get him that Magneto cage.
You should be in charge of it all, Mike. You're a genius.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Should we go to Moments of the Week?
Yes.
I'm going to. Ryan, what was your Moment of the Week?
My moment of the week is this thing that I see often in TV and movies, mostly TV, and maybe it happens in real life, but Mark and Eve just say, so are we dating now? I guess we are. But then what's the next move? Like, usually in real life, it's a little more organic than that, and all of a sudden you're kissing or giving each other wild handies on that sky ride at Disneyland. That's not there anymore, but was if you were a fucking hip
now we
kid
know
in the
why
70s.
It wasn't. People are like, why is it salty rain?
Salty rain. But yeah, just that awkward moment of like, so we should date, right? We're two practical people. We're discussing this in a practical way. But just, is it straight to 69? I just want to know what the next move is.
And when you're dating, And I guess it's because you're friends, but Mark's like, it's not a crush, it's something more. And Eve's like, you gotta prove it. Like, no, that's early dating is just crushes, and then it turns into love. You can't, before you start dating, you can't be like, I love you. That's creeper shit.
Does it, Mike?
Yes?
Mike Grayson?
Who's here?
Don't say my full name.
Does it go, do you typically go handies to love or love to handies?
Oh, he's really thinking about it.
You gotta think about it. It's normally handies lead to love.
Love leads to hate leads to anger, etc.
Mike, what was your moment of the week?
You know what? I'm a sucker for your good old fashioned superhero training montage. Mark, you're now gonna swim in lava. Mark, you're sprinting. You're doing wind sprints from the moon back to Earth. Here's an iceberg.
You're gonna beat the living shit out of a 6-year-old colossus the size of a skyscraper.
There was no reason for him to be 6. They were just
I know. You could have just hired a 25-year-old a Cyclops, not Colossus. I got my X-Men wrong.
Cyclops, idiot. And I liked Donald's, after he lifted the iceberg, he's like, so that was the heaviest thing we could find for Mark to lift. And he just lifted it?
Also, would the iceberg be the heaviest thing? I feel like there's heavier things out there.
Name one.
Metalberg.
You. Bird. I take
too,
it back.
Cassie?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Mike.
That was a real Ryan move. You guys have been spending too much time together.
It's rubbing me off.
Why'd the Titanic sink? Because Mike was just in a floaty in the ocean and ran right into him.
On that note, before we get even more mean, that's all the time we have to talk about Invincible. If you want to check it out, it's Thursdays on Amazon. Mike, I think you've been working on a website. I'm giving you all the power right now.
It's called findnewfriends.com.
Yeah. It's called roastreflect.net. Where you just roasted by people you love and you don't know what to say. Come to roastreflect.net. Type in, and we'll use our cutting edge LLM. Gen AI. Was that too many L's? No, I said the right amount of L's. I know what I'm talking about. It's a large language model, AI, and it's going to say, oh, did they say this? You say this back at them. I'm not going to reveal any of it, but it's a lot of like, it's I'm rubber, you're glue kind of stuff. Like, stuff you could never think of. So you just got to, your friends aren't that creative. They're going to be like, oh, here's the 3 things we always make fun of you. So you could be like, they're going to say I'm stinky. They're going to say I'm big.
Big stinky.
They're going to make fun of the hormonal changing medication I did as a kid, and so it fucked me up forever. So you type in that kind of stuff, and then Roast Reflection is going to say, like, oh, well, tell them they're the reason their mom left their dad. and so we need help.
Cassie, do you want to tell me? I just went to ChatGPT. Do you want to say that I'm as fat as an iceberg?
Yeah. Ryan, you're as fat as an iceberg.
Well, at least I'm cool under pressure.
No. Damn it.
No, keep going.
Okay. But say it again. Oh, me keep going. The difference between Roast Reflection is it'll tell you a burn back. It's not just going to be like, well, I'm cool, actually. My mom says. So I would love to get this on the ground. Sharks, I'm asking for a cool $10 million.
Cool.
Cool.
Everything you touch is cool.
Well,
Thank you.
I think it's a great idea.
Can you guys say it one more time?
Yeah, you're as big as an iceberg.
I'd rather be an iceberg than a drip.
Goddamn.
Ryan, you're as big as an iceberg.
And you're as irrelevant as the Titanic now.
People are still talking about it all the time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's actually hit the news pretty recently.
Okay, this is the home run.
You're as big as an iceberg.
That just means 90% of my awesomeness is hidden beneath the surface.
Oh, man.
Well, this is clearly going to be a huge success if this is just the beta version that we have.
No,
going
mine
on.
are better than this.
I mean, we'll see.
I feel like this is lower than beta. This is cuck. This is the cuck version.
What's going to make it better is my friend cybersprout.net. They're going to at least make this website beautiful. I don't know how good the burns are going to be, but the website will be beautiful with cybersprout.net. That's because they got digital. They are well versed in digital strategy and elegant design. They work hand in hand with you. You should check them out, cybersprout.net, to get started. They're your partner for digital world. Let's go talk about more TV shows. We're back to talk about the other TV shows that came out this week. Starting it off, Harley Quinn. On the 4th episode of Season 5 of Harley Quinn. This episode focuses on Brainiac's origin as we see what caused him to be obsessed with collecting and making every planet 100% perfect. And guess what, y'all? It's because his family and civilization was murdered. We also see that Lena is working with Brainiac to get comfort, and we get confirmation that she will never let Harley and Ivy leave Metropolis. Taste buds, I ask you, did we need a Brainiac origin episode?
No. It certainly could have been the last minute of every episode of this season.
Oh, do you mean like when you every toy you buy and with Marvel Legends this session you get a piece of a bigger character?
Yes.
Exactly like that.
You get to build the blob.
The problem with the origin of this is, I know technically there were a lot of jokes throughout the Brainiac, but it really felt like our joke is these robots talk robotically, but they still say things that humans say, but in the ways that a robot would say them. Affirmative.
Yeah, which you find sprinkled in many Futurama episodes, not dedicated to one, or like sort of the reason there's a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons I sort of just walked away from Rick and Morty is because entire episodes would feel like this. And this is the kind of thing that makes you realize how on a show that is all about titties and poop, like Harley Quinn, how important the characters hanging out are.
Yeah.
Because the jokes were there, I guess, like if you just counted pure jokes. But this should have been the Floronic Man, the real superstar of this season.
Yeah. Floronic Man. Floronic Man.
People are chanting it in the streets.
Like when you lean so hard on the titties and poop and your characters are robots. Hey, where are those titties and poop?
Hey.
It's just fucking cold robots.
They don't be doing it. It really showed like how much I was glad we got at least a little bit of Harley and Ivy, because it's the only thing that like as soon as they were on the screen I was like, oh, thank God.
But when they came on, didn't it feel contractually obligated?
It sure
like
did.
Yeah.
we're in the opening credits. You best have us on for a minute.
Yeah. But they did bring that energy instantly. They started slamming him, and I was like, "This is what I need. I need my people. I don't need Brainiacs." And also, the origin isn't like a unique thing. Like, there's so many times that a person becomes evil because their family has been murdered and their civilization. Like, we get it. That's comic
also,
book.
It seemed like he was evil before then a little, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, he straight up hated his son. So
No, I get that. That kid sucked.
Do you know what I said when my family was murdered?
what?
There, all done. Like, it wasn't that, like, I didn't turn into a villain.
No, you're definitely not a villain.
Brainiac is a maniac.
You're a stand-up guy.
I just got his name. He's a brainy maniac.
Let's go to moments of the week. Ryan, do you have anything from this one?
Yeah, my favorite part of that episode, can't remember which one it was when somebody was like, I just got his name. He's a brainy maniac.
It was a classic moment. Mike?
It is. We've seen it all from Brainiac's point of view, so we're like, okay, this little monkey thing is definitely alive. This place is clean. And then when Harley sees it, she's like, what smells? Is it that pile of monkey bones? Are you fucking those monkey bones? I'm like, thank you, Harley. Thank you for revealing this all.
When we kept getting more civilizations and I kept seeing that monkey be alive, I was like, how is that monkey still alive? So I'm glad we did get that resolved, because that was going to bug me. It was not alive.
It was nothing but a pile of salacious crumbs.
I have a new moment of the week.
My moment of the week is along those lines. It's just when Harley and as soon as Harley and Ivy, they get abducted by him and put on the platform, and they just instantly start like cussing him out and also talking about reality TV shows, and it's just like, there's my girls. I love seeing you too. Harley Quinn is Thursdays on Max if you want to check it out. Our final show of the week is Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
In episodes 3 through 5 of YFNSM rolls off the tongue, Spidey teams up with Norman and Harry Osborn as his guys in the chair, and Lonnie gets sucked into his neighborhood gang because his youngest brother is a little piece of fuck-up shit. Also, Doc Ock is around supplying people with villainous tech. Taste Buds ask you this: what is YFNSM adding to the good kid gets sucked into gang life story?
Can I rephrase the question?
Sure. More acronyms
Needed.
What is it adding to shows that are mostly for kids on Disney Plus?
Ooh.
A lot.
I think that's true.
I think that this is probably some stuff that people haven't seen, and for that is pretty subtle. It's fast. I think that Lonnie sort of enjoys the life a little quicker than I would have appreciated.
You're going to enjoy the life if you get stabbed on day 2 of a new job. You're going to be like, these are my people.
Also, I know Superstar and whatnot, but like he took that knife like a superstar, pulled it out, and was ready to roll. So roids?
It's probably roids. I'm really enjoying this and I did not expect. I'm going to say we have two main characters. And we get like almost equal time of what Peter's up to and what Lonnie is up to. Mm-hmm. And it's what is the difference between the two of them in their respective parts of New York. And they both have very supportive families. But this is where systemic issues arise. And those don't affect little white boy Peter as much as it might affect Lonnie.
I mean, they're both for their high school, they're both brilliant and talented. Like Lonnie is a straight A science student, maybe not Osborne ready, but like he's a very smart kid,
right?
And also is a hell of an athlete. Like he's supposed to be drafted into the NFL, which makes me think that if the neighborhoods were reversed that they were born in, things would have worked out very differently.
Yes, and I did not expect that from a children's cartoon. And I just hope it doesn't get too woke or annoying.
Oh God, wouldn't that be terrible? Fucking Hudson Thames over here. Cassie, you haven't weighed in yet on this?
Yeah, suspiciously. I haven't had a time. I haven't checked it out yet, and I don't know. Is it too woke?
No,
it's just
the main character.
The actor who plays Spider-Man said that he was glad that it wasn't woke or annoying, and it absolutely is. Not annoying, but if you don't like woke, then you'll find it annoying. But yeah, Cassie, if you've not stepped into this,
should I?
Dude, it's killer. It's awesome.
Okay. All right.
And there's great character stuff going on, but there's still the itch I love of like every time we meet a new character, it's like, okay, that's Rhino, that's Chameleon. Now I have to go look up who these ladies are. They're definitely going to be somebody.
You know who you can tell Chameleon?
His belt?
His belt. He's just always wearing that belt.
He's wearing a fly belt.
It's got sparklers and it says Chameleon on it.
It says, guess who, Chameleon?
Yeah, Rhino has a different first name, I think, but his last name is the same. I think he's Alexi in the comics, Mikhail in the show, but he has a head built for a person who will become a rhino, for sure. And yeah, it's just, I don't think we're going to do that thing like that we talked about last week of week 7 or episode 7 or season 2, episode 1 of everybody becoming a villain. This is just the neighborhood that he lives in. The ensemble cast is just names that we know, and that's like, and then you take Otto where he was just right away. We don't have to do that shit with him.
Right. Know? He's in full 70s or 60s comic book. The lab coat, the orange and green turtleneck thing.
The incredible bowl cut. What'd you think of his voice, though?
It's animated. I should have no expectation of what this voice sounds like, but it felt wrong in a way nobody else's voices have. Like, it felt like, was it a scratch track? Like, what is...
Oh, Cassie, you need to watch the show just so you get to hear the opening credits, the titular song every week.
The song slaps.
Should we go to Moments of the Week?
Yes.
Start with yours, Ryan.
I've got 2.
I'll allow it.
I'll pick one and then I'll do one after Mike. I don't want to steal anything. But when the 110th Street gang leader sends Lonnie out to the burrito place, one of the gang members says, "Oh, and get some extra sauce, hot sauce for my sauce drawer." And this is fucking maniac behavior. Your sauce drawer is for what is already extra, and you can't throw it away. To ask for extra.
To plan for a sauce drawer? What the fuck?
So that it could go in the drawer. Maybe the first couple of times you just got an apartment or something, the first couple of times you need to, like when you put a couple bucks in your tip jar.
Sure.
Just to like let people know. But no, I think this is absolutely batshit behavior.
That's how you know this gang is twisted. And you don't want to fuck with them. That's the kind of... he's not even the boss. He's a lower level guy, man.
Yeah, a person who would do this is definitely crazy. Shouldn't be trusted.
No, Cassie, sauce drawers are normal, but they're accidental. You don't say, "Hey, get even more so I can fill up my sauce drawer even more."
Yeah, you don't.
Oh, no, I'm so worried about it.
It's
also,
overflowing, guys.
Cassie, normal people only have one sauce drawer.
Oh,
this is why
I only need one utensil drawer. The rest is all sauce.
And there's that room Cassie never lets us go into at her house. Is it just? Do you think it's a sauce room?
She calls it the sauce room. The sign on the door says extra sauce. I don't know what's in there.
I thought it was code.
Sauce.
Sauce.
Mike, your moment.
Peter has become friends with Harry Osborn, who instantly finds out he's Spider-Man, guy in the chair. They're getting closer. Harry Osborn is like the richest social media influencer out there just for how rich he is, to the point that when Peter's dropped off to school, everybody's buzzing about it. Even teachers are now staring through the window in one of his classrooms watching, and one of the teachers says, "Oh, that's him. That's Peter. I'm going to wave. Oh, I'm going to wave." Just little jokes. This show's got little jokes.
I think that moment of the week, that is something Mike can relate to. Obviously, Cassie, you can relate to the sauce guy.
Yeah.
Mike, I figured out that when we send Cassie a text that says SOS, she's like, sauce?
Hell yeah, sauce.
I'll bring some over. But the moment of the week that I had the hardest time relating to was Mikhail was driving, and the guy in the front seat was like, that's why the person in the back seat is the brains of the outfit. And Mikhail says, no, I'm the brains of the outfit. That's why you're the muscle of the outfit. No, I'm muscle. And then he declares the third person the wild card. And he says, no, I'm wild card too. He's all three.
Yeah, that's definitely not a Ryan move. Definitely can't relate. If you want to check out, I can't remember the acronym. Yifiness. It's Wednesdays on Disney Plus. That is it for this week. I do want to tell you guys about more websites, though. Mike, actually, can you tell the people about them websites?
You want to tell them so bad. You want me to tell them.
That I'm going to pass it off.
Popfilter.co is where you can go
like
to
that.
get all of the things we create. You love it. You need it. You want more of it. Throw a little /Amazon there if you're nasty. Popfilter.co/Amazon. Bookmark that. That's how you shop now. It helps us probably. Those are our websites.
Mike, can we get a page that says it's popfilter.co/Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
And then it just says you're nasty when you go to it.
I'll get on that.
We'll do it. We have another show on the network. Ryan, can you tell the people about it?
Oh, movie of the year is one of those classic. Let's see what the best movie of any given year, like 1986 or 1994 or 2050. We got some tech in there doing that. But right now, Cassie, it's all about the 2024. That's right. Do you remember that year, the last year of America? We are spending weeks and weeks going through all of the albums, TV shows, and movies of that year. So get over there now, subscribe, rate, and review that shit on any of your pod catchers.
Oh, while you're doing that, you should also follow us on Instagram. We're at Your Pop Filter over there. Go ahead and give us a follow. Go back through our entire feed, like every photo. We would appreciate it. Thank you so much. We also got an email. It's contact@popfilter.co. You could send us any questions, concerns, comments, any opinions on Mike, any burns you have for his website.
Just any opinions on Mike. That's a weird call out. You've said very mean, direct things to me, but for some reason, that's the most insulting thing, is asking the public for opinions.
Opinions could be good.
Not in my history.
I think you'll get a lot of good opinions over there.
I'd like to say, too, to the listeners, Mike, of the three of us, is the one who's like committed to health and losing weight, and he deserves all of the shit. Fucking iceberg bitch.
Again, contact@popfilter.co. Next week, we're going to be talking about more Harley, Spidey, and Invincible, so be sure to catch it. That is it for this week, though. For Mike, I'm Ryan. For Ryan, I'm Mike. For me, I am Mia. Bye, everyone.